What would you do if, right in the middle of your father's funeral, your own brother stood up in front of the entire church and announced to everyone, "The house gets sold. We split everything 50/50ths." That's what Dad would have wanted. I was sitting in the front pew, black dress, tissues crumpled in my lap, tears still wet on my cheeks, and I just smiled. Not a big smile. A small, secret one nobody noticed. Because while Mark was up there playing the grieving son and the fair-minded big brother, he had no clue. No clue that Dad had left me the rental duplex, 2 units pulling in steady cash every month. No clue about the $428,000 brokerage account quietly transferred into my name only. He thought the family house was the big prize. He thought we were equals. He thought wrong. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Family betrayal stings hardest when money's on the table, doesn't it? This is the story of how I stayed quiet, played the long game, and watched my greedy brother walk right into the trap Dad set years earlier. 2 months later, he showed up at my door with a realtor, pounding, yelling, "Pack your things, we're selling." I opened the door, already holding moving boxes. But he wasn't getting my silence forever. Picture this. The church smelled like lilies and old wood. Everyone was whispering condolences, dabbing eyes. Then Mark, my older brother, always the loud one, walked straight to the podium during the open mic part of the service. He adjusted the microphone like he owned the place, cleared his throat, and delivered the line that made my stomach twist. Dad was all about fairness, he said, voice cracking just enough to sell it. He wouldn't want us fighting. So the house gets sold. We split everything right down the middle. 50/50ths. That's what he would have wanted. Heads nodded. Aunts murmured agreement. Cousins gave sympathetic looks. And me? I sat perfectly still in the front row, hands folded over the single sheet of paper the lawyer had slipped me the night before. A letter from Dad. Not the official will everyone expected. A private one. Just for me. Growing up, Dad, Robert, was the quiet type. Fixed cars, paid bills on time, never bragged. He owned our family house outright. And he owned something else nobody talked about. A duplex on the east side. 2 units. Reliable tenants. Rent checks that arrived like clockwork. Mark never helped with any of it. He was always chasing the next big thing. Cars he couldn't afford. Investments that vanished, asking Dad for bailouts. Me? I was the one who mowed the lawn, answered tenant calls at 2 a.m., learned how to patch drywall so Dad didn't have to. Have you ever watched someone rewrite history right in front of grieving people? That's what Mark did that day. He painted himself as the responsible one, the fair one, while I held proof that Dad saw right through him. I never stood up, never corrected him. Not then. Because Dad's reel will had a secret clause nobody knew about yet. And Mark was about to learn exactly what everything really meant. Because Dad's reel will had a secret clause nobody knew about yet. 6 months before the cancer finally took him, Dad called me over to the house alone. Mark was out, probably at some bar blowing the last of his paycheck. Dad sat me down at the kitchen table, same one we ate Sunday dinners at for 20 years, and slid a thin folder across to me. "Sarah," he said, voice already weak. "Mark's got problems. Debts. Gambling. Women who aren't his wife. I love him, but I can't trust him with everything I've built." I opened the folder. Transfer documents. A living trust naming me sole beneficiary of the duplex. 2 clean, updated units on Maple Street that had been cash flow positive since the 90s. Tenants paid on the first like clockwork. And tucked behind that, a brokerage statement. $428,000. Stocks, bonds, a little cash cushion. All moved into my name quietly over the last 2 years. Why me? I asked, throat tight. Because you never asked, he said. You showed up. Fixed things. Listened. Mark, he only shows up when he needs something. I felt a pang. Guilt mixed with something sharper. Relief, maybe. Vindication. Every time Mark called me the golden child with that sarcastic edge, every time he mocked me for staying home to help Dad instead of chasing parties. Dad had been watching. And choosing. I kept it all quiet. Managed the duplex myself, screened new tenants, handled repairs, deposited rent straight into the account Dad set up. Mark never knew. He kept asking Dad for loans, kept getting turned down, kept calling me selfish when I wouldn't chip in. Have you ever carried a secret that felt heavier every day but also like armor? I carried it through the funeral, through the casseroles, through the awkward family hugs, until exactly 2 months later, when my phone lit up with Mark's name. He was already in the driveway of the family house, with a realtor, and a for sale sign in his hand. With a realtor, and a for sale sign in his hand. Bang, bang, bang on the front door at 8 in the morning. I opened it still in my pajamas, coffee in hand. Mark stormed past me like he owned the place, waving a stack of papers. The realtor trailed behind, looking awkward in her blazer. Pack your things, Sarah, he snapped. We're selling today. Half the proceeds are mine. Dad said fair is fair. I just stood there, sipping my coffee, watching his face turn red. He had no idea I'd already moved out 2 weeks earlier. No idea I'd quietly transferred my stuff to one side of the duplex Dad left me. The other side? I rented it out for $2,200 a month, cash in my account before the first tenant even moved in. You really think it's that simple? I asked calmly. The family house was left to both of us, sure. But Dad added a clause. If one of us tries to force a sale without the other's full agreement, the other can buy them out at appraised value minus any outstanding debts. Mark froze. The realtor suddenly found her shoes very interesting. I slid the folder across the kitchen counter. Your gambling debts from last year? Dad knew. They're deducted. Which means I just bought your half this morning. For $1. He laughed at first, that loud, fake laugh he always used when he was cornered. Then the laugh died. His eyes went wide. Have you ever seen someone realize the quiet sibling just played them like a fiddle? He started screaming about lawyers, about fraud, about taking me to court. But he wasn't getting my peace or my future. A week later, I texted him one line. Coffee. Neutral ground. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. He showed up early, eyes bloodshot, suit wrinkled like he'd slept in it. The diner smelled like burnt toast and regret. He sat across from me, fists clenched on the table. You think you're so smart, he started. Dad would be ashamed. I didn't flinch. I just slid a single envelope across the Formica. Inside, the brokerage statement. $428,000. Clear as day. My name only. Dated transfers going back years. His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. No sound came out at first. Then the questions exploded. How? When? Why didn't he tell me? Because you never earned his trust, I said quietly. You borrowed. You promised. You disappeared when he needed you most. I stayed. I listened. I fixed what was broken. He stared at the numbers like they were burning him. Then the tears came. Real ones. My kids, Sarah. I messed up. I need help. Just something. Please. I let the silence sit. Heavy. Thick. Every memory of his taunts, his borrowing, his "you're too serious" jabs flashed between us. Finally I spoke. I'll give you $20,000. One time. No more. But you sign this. I pushed over a quitclaim deed for any interest in the duplex. Forever. He hesitated. Looked at the paper. Looked at me. Then he signed. Have you ever had to buy peace from your own blood? I walked out of that diner lighter than I'd felt in years. But the real twist? He still doesn't know the full amount or what Dad really said in that last letter. But the real twist? He still doesn't know the full amount or what Dad really said in that last letter. I went home that night, sat on the porch of my duplex unit, and pulled out the folded paper Dad gave me 6 months before he died. The one I never showed Mark. It wasn't just instructions about the money. It was a letter. Handwritten. Sarah, if you're reading this, I didn't make it. Give Mark one chance to prove he can change. If he doesn't, protect what's yours. You've earned it. Don't feel guilty. Family isn't blood. It's who carries the weight. I read it again. Then I burned it. Not out of anger. Out of peace. Mark walked away with 20 grand, and a signed paper that locked him out forever. He still thinks the duplex is just some old rental. He has no idea it's worth over $500,000 now, or that the account has grown another 30,000 since. He posts on Facebook about family greed, like he's the victim. Meanwhile, I'm collecting rent, fixing nothing because my tenants are happy, and sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Have you ever had to choose between loyalty and protecting your future? I chose. And I'd choose again tomorrow. Remember the funeral? When Mark stood up and declared the house would be split. The house did sell, but only after I secured everything Dad trusted me with. He thought he was getting half of everything. He wasn't getting my piece. He wasn't getting my duplex. And he sure as hell wasn't getting another dime. If you've ever been betrayed by family over money, drop your story below. Did the quiet one win in your life too? Smash that like button if quiet revenge feels good. Subscribe for more stories like this, and hit the bell so you never miss when karma shows up wearing a smile.